Woodstock Express. This family wooden coaster actually opened a year before King's Dominion as part of the drive-through safari to promote the park. Given its modest height of 35 feet, does this offer a fun enough ride? Find out in this review. There are 3 Woodstock Expresses across the Cedar Fair chain. The first opened in 1972 as Scooby-Doo at Kings Island, and another Scooby-Doo opened in 1975 at Carowinds. These coasters then had different names throughout their life, with the King's Dominion version simply changing to the Scooby-Doo Ghoster Coaster after the area around it was rethemed to Kidsville. In 2013, this area was absorbed as part of the expansion of the kids area to create Planet Snoopy, which does look really nice and has a bunch of fun-looking rides for kids. I'm not used to seeing all the Peanuts theming, as I haven't visited too many of the Cedar Fair parks, but I really wanted to ride a lot of these kiddie rides as the area just looks that good. The Great Pumpkin Coaster is basically next door to Woodstock Express and did require adults to ride with a kid in the past, but is now open to all guests who want to ride it. And Woodstock Express is the slightly bigger kiddie or family coaster in this area. Beyond the name and the paint job on the cars, there really isn't much theming to the coaster though, which is a slight bummer, especially with the great theming of the area as a whole, but is perfectly reasonable for classic wooden coasters like this. The coaster has individual seatbelts and a shared lap bar, so you do get a bit more space than other wooden coasters where the lap bar can be really tight. Still, it's not a huge amount of extra space, but it is enough to help magnify what elements are on this ride. I found my back row ride to be much better on this coaster as it helped magnify the first drop, as well as offered much better laterals on the turns. So if you're a bit scared to ride this coaster, I'd suggest sitting further up in the train to reduce some of the drop feelings. As for roughness, this coaster does have a little bit of a rattle, but with the overall small elements, this just helped give it a bit of character, at least for me. After leaving the station, you have the same rocking motion that you'll find on the pre-lift of the other wooden coasters at King's Dominion, which is a fun bit of being jostled around at a slow speed. After climbing the lift hill, the first drop is fun, especially for its small size, and is played much better towards the back. Then you pop up into a turnaround, with no real airtime on the rise up, and only weak laterals as you take this turn pretty slowly. Again, the laterals are better towards the back, but they're still not great here, though you do pick up a bit of laterals towards the end as the train starts to go down the second drop. The second drop is fun as well, despite its small size, offering a nice pop of power. This is profiled as a double down, but the second hill wasn't nearly as strong as that initial drop into this section. These smaller hills didn't give me really any airtime on my rides on this coaster. The second turnaround does have more speed to it, so the laterals here are more in the decent range, which is always fun to get on a wooden coaster. The third drop is okay, but not as strong as the first two. This is followed by a bunny hill that doesn't do much, and you can tell this off-ride by how shallow and drawn out the profiling of this hill is. By the third turnaround, you've bled off a lot of speed, so it is a weaker turnaround, but it can still offer mild laterals. Then there's a few smaller bunny hills that don't do much as you make your way back to the station. Overall, how good is Woodstock Express? This is a fun family wooden coaster that is popular with kids looking for the next step while riding coasters. With strong drops and decent laterals throughout the layout, the pacing of the coaster is solid, as you're almost always doing something fun, and that's with the bunny hills not doing much. As few parks seem to have a good step-up coaster for kids, this works nicely at helping the youngest guests build up to the larger family coasters at King's Dominion. I rank Woodstock Express rather highly for its size, and it really does everything you could want in an accessible family coaster. I rank it right above Penguin Trek at SeaWorld Orlando. The theming in the station and initial section of this coaster is great, though its theming is a bit lacking on the outdoor parts, as with most SeaWorld coasters. There are some forces throughout the layout, but the hills and such are noticeably dialed back, so I will prefer the drops and laterals that you can get on Woodstock Express. I rank Woodstock Express right below Beach Rescue Racer at SeaWorld San Antonio. This large kiddie coaster offers a drop that seems to last a long time, and then some strong, forceful helixes in what really is a fun and powerful layout, though it likely is a bit much for younger kids. What has your experience been on Woodstock Express? Do you feel it's a solid family coaster for King's Dominion? Let me know, and as always, Cup Coon Crop.